Hey, welcome to City Square Podcast, where we talk to everyday people about faith and work. My name is Micah. I'm hanging with Jon tonight. Tonight is a little different. It's called Meme Review. We asked a bunch of y'all to send in your favorite memes, and we have not seen any of them yet. They were compiled by Emily, our lovely and talented editor.
Yeah.
So we are going to jump right in and see how terrible this is.
And for real, we literally have not seen any of these at all. We actually mean it when we say it.
Yeah, so
all right, man, you ready?
Well, let me rephrase. I may have seen some of these before, but not. I don't know which ones have been submitted.
Okay, I haven't seen any of them.
Well, you don't know that yet.
Oh, okay. So fair enough. We might have seen what we don't know we've seen.
Yeah, I haven't seen what ones have been submitted. I may have encountered some of these in the wild before, but we'll see.
How many memes do you have stored on your phone?
Can I plead the fifth?
I've got like at least 1,000 memes stored on my phone.
Is that all?
At least, man. I thought 1,000 was a lot. Maybe I've got like.
I think I've got like 10,000 photos at least. So
all right.
I'm assuming at least half of those are memes.
So like statistically, we've probably seen like at least one or two of these, probably, right?
I'm guessing. Yeah, I'm guessing I've encountered some of them before.
All right, man.
We'll see if they hold up.
Is a certain genre of meme you're anticipating seeing?
Are there genres of memes? I don't know. I don't really know. I'm assuming I'm gonna see some familiar tropes and stuff. But
yeah, because I guess genre could be like a lot of different things, right? I was thinking like maybe subject matter, like probably. I assume they're probably gonna be mostly religious or faith-based memes.
I'm guessing.
Probably maybe a few, but not a lot political. Genre, I guess, could mean a lot of different things, right? Like there could be like a lot of like maybe some Kermit memes or Pepe or whatever.
I am interested to see. I'm interested to see all the different formats. Yeah.
All right, man.
You ready?
Let's get going. All right, meme one.
The absolute worst guy you know is going to dress like this for Halloween this year. By the way, there's people already dressing like this. What are you talking about?
Yeah, it's not.
There's going to be ones with signs that say "I am Knuff" or whatever. I haven't even seen the movie, so
I haven't seen the movie.
I've been seeing the memes for months, but
yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if that guy's walking down my street at 10 o'clock at night surrounded by kids.
It does kind of remind me of like it gives me kind of like Anchorman vibes, you know?
Like if Anchorman could be actually worse person.
Yeah. I hear like he does a great job. Like his performance is great.
I'm sure he does a great job playing an awful character.
Maybe, I don't know. I think the whole movie is probably awful, but I've seen all the hot takes from people on the right and not really the left so much, but the right and other versions of the right.
Yeah. I was actually more open to going to see it before everybody started talking about it. I
think for meme potential alone, it might be worth seeing at some point.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to spend money in the theater to go.
It's kind of one of those things where I was like, if my wife if Emily wants to go see it, like I'll go with her.
Yeah.
It's like, I'm not going to go by myself, but like if she wants to go and like she wants me to go with her, then like
you'll go for moral support.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a terrible outfit, like, you know, but it does look like this is going to be a thing, I think.
All right, man, you ready?
Yep.
Dude, I've been your Twitter game lately, man.
What? I'm not needlessly inflammatory. It's all needful. Oh, that's great. That's fantastic. Yeah. I've actually backed off a lot of the political stuff. Used to be way more invested in it than I am now.
Yeah.
So
I've been going through it, still deleting my social media history, man. So I feel like I'm in the clear.
You know, I tried to one time, and I think that it didn't really take. But then I'll see stuff that comes up in my memories on Facebook, and it's like, this post has been deleted, like something I shared. I'm like, I wonder what that was. We'll never know, I guess. No, that's great. I love the I'm in danger meme. You know,
Yeah.
I'm in danger. It's beautiful.
All right, let's see.
See, this I feel like applies to my wife in a hilarious way, and she'd be the first one to admit that. Oh yeah, it was more about the silent treatment for her though. So, did your dad?
It's like,
was he a work on the car kind of guy?
No, he tried to be a couple times, but he wasn't. But like, there was a few times I was instructed to hold a flashlight.
Did you hold it?
And like, I think I did really good, man, for like about 5 seconds. And then after about 5 seconds, like, you don't want to be there anymore because you realize your dad invited you to do nothing.
Yeah.
That's and then like you kind of like get tired, you start wandering off, and the flashlight like starts to like slowly, and then like gets on you a little bit.
Yeah.
And your dad asked me to bring a Phillips head screwdriver, and I'd walk in with like the slotted.
So yeah, this is you then.
Yeah.
I don't think that ever really happened to me that I can remember. My dad's a big old teddy bear though, so
because your dad didn't ask you to grab tools.
Yeah, he never worked at anything. So I inherited his mechanical ability as well. I can replace the battery in the car, and that's about it.
Right now, YouTube is teaching me how to work on a vehicle. You never go on there for the how-to videos?
I've done a few, but there's a certain level of stuff that I can handle. Like I can buff out a scratch, I can change a tire, I can change the battery, I can check the oil. But anything further than that, I'm paying somebody to do that.
Nice.
I'm supporting that company.
All right.
That's good.
All right, here we go. Oh gosh.
I've seen this one. Yeah. It's true. It really is true. I don't know how much I can comment though without getting in some trouble.
Oh, dude, that's part of the fun, man. It's figuring out where the line is.
Figuring out where the line is and just crossing it slightly.
Yeah.
What are the other sins? There's lust. There's gluttony, murder,
greed.
I feel like I have to look this up now.
Greed, right?
Greed. And these are not from the Bible. They're from, I guess, is it either Dante's Inferno or...
Yeah, I think so, man.
Or his other work. Let's see. Yeah, the capital vices are cardinal sins. Pride, greed, wrath, envy, lust, gluttony, and sloth.
Sloth.
Man, I could go for a sloth month. Which we have. Okay, so we have a gluttony month. It's like, well, maybe not a month per se, but it's like
a season.
Yeah. November 29th or 28th or whatever, when Thanksgiving hits through
January.
Yep. So that's the American liturgical calendar.
Oh man, I like the eyes on the cat in the last frame.
Yeah, come on, bro, give it here. Nice.
That's got to end someday, though, right? Someday.
Pride Month?
Not Sunday, but someday that's got to end, right? Maybe not during our life, but someday that's got to end.
It just depends on how. Like we've seen a lot of backlash to, like, the trans agenda.
Yeah.
Because I think there was a lot of things overstated and
like when people realize it's just not media jargon.
Yeah, when it starts to become what's the word I'm looking for? like overt and obvious.
Overt,
that it's
obvious.
That it's hurting kids, and that, you know, there's a lot of media manipulation and that sort of thing. Like, they kind of overstate the case. They kind of press too far, too fast, you know?
Yeah.
But I don't know if I don't know, you know, if we'll see that with, you know, gay marriage or something like that in our lifetime. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
Haven't spent a lot of time thinking about that, honestly.
Good for you. Yeah. It's good where you live. All right, dude. Next. Oh, yeah, I know this one. I know this one.
R.I.P. Cheems. The Doge. He just passed away, actually, the namesake dog.
R.I.P., man.
But yeah, this is not today, CIA.
Oh, dude.
It's so good. I love the Doge memes, man. They're great.
Yeah, dude.
And then this brings in all the great elements, right?
Yeah. Yeah. You got Doge, you got conspiracies, you got anti-governments, you got therapy.
Not today, CIA. The Doge memes, man, they're some of my favorite, honestly. Like, if you're thinking about favorite formats of memes, there's Pepe, the frog, and then there's Doge. It's so, like, not universal, but just like adaptable, you know? They can be used for almost everything.
They're versatile. Mm-hmm. Like the little the Simpsons kid from the first one we watched. Yeah. We had. I'm in danger. And there's that one, I don't know if we'll see it coming up, but the one with Bobby Hill from King of the Hill. When the teacher's like, if those kids could read, they'd be angry.
They'd be very upset.
All right, let's go. Oh, gosh.
It's fantastic. Jim, who didn't copy, paste, and type amen on Barbara the Boomer's Facebook post. Oh, yes. Type amen, like and share. Money is coming your way. Say amen. Time of blessing.
Barbara. Like, we gave Karen a break and just went with Barbara.
Well, Barbara probably because it's like a more old school name. And when you say Barbara, you picture a lady with like kind of curly, short gray hair.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. I haven't seen as many of these though. I don't follow the algorithm on Facebook sucks now, to be honest. I mean, it sucked for a long time, but it really sucks now. I think I was counting the other day. There be about 2 posts from my friends or pages that I follow, and every third post is some sort of ad. Either either a group or a page that's being suggested to me that I don't follow, or a literal paid for ad. Every 2 or 3 posts.
And they're getting more and more creative about where they're hitting you with ads, dude.
Yeah. So yes, Facebook's terrible now. So I don't see as much of this anymore. I do have a few older relatives that are still on Facebook. Like my parents aren't. So I don't, get the same level of boomer memes that some people do.
Yeah.
It's a good one.
Yeah, Jim's right there next to Jeffrey Epstein, who didn't kill himself, with Osama bin Laden, Karl Marx, Dahmer, Hitler. This is good stuff.
Hitler, yeah. Spread.
Dude.
Good stuff. Yes. I have seen this one before. It's amazing. It's really true. You could kind of, I would say Orthodox definitely has the wizard, they call them the forest hobos, the Eastern wizard vibe, because they definitely have this vibe, the big staffs, the long robes and stuff. So But you could kind of insert other liturgical traditions in there as well. And then, you've got senior mega global church leader pastor, in the shorts.
Global church leader pastor.
There's a guy, I think his name's Taylor Ransom. You've probably seen some of his stuff. He does like church spoof skits and that sort of thing.
Yeah.
So he's got this whole thing about how senior global leader pastor, in some sort of big box, Hillsong clone. So pretty good stuff. But yeah. And it's true. Once you because I moved from a very, growing up and in college, it was a very formal church setting, but it was like American business formal, suits and ties. And then I moved from that into a more casual church setting for a decade, when we were actually at the same church for a little while. And whereas, Peter Jackson, his clothes were a much more common occurrence there. Not necessarily the pastor, but people attending. And now I've moved into a more liturgical one where the dress is certainly more formal, at least from the pastors, So it is. This meme hits. It's funny. It makes sense to me now, because I'm like, it is to me now. It's more jarring when I see like a guy in t-shirt and flip-flops preaching, and I'm like, holy cow! Like, wow! You don't realize what becomes the new norm.
No, yeah, for sure. We've had a similar experience. Not about so much about what you wear, but like whenever if we visit a church, we're traveling or something like that, and we go to a different church, and it's not intentionally liturgical. It just feels weird.
Yeah,
it feels like something's missing.
Yeah,
it's like where's the scripture? Where's the prayers? Where's everything? And it's just it just doesn't sit right.
Yeah, you definitely kind of adapt to, I think, what you're in. So like going from a formal independent, or like traditional Southern Baptist church to a kind of non-denom mega church definitely was a change as well. It was just more casual, and I kind of liked that anyway. So
yeah,
it wasn't as jarring, even though it was a little bit, but yeah, you kind of adapt to the water you're swimming in, for sure. But yes, top tier, top quality.
Top tier meme.
Oh yeah, this is like so
I want to know who sent this one.
I don't know, man. Okay, so there's like a misunderstanding of the Trinity. Yeah. I mean, this is an atheist meme, probably, or maybe it's a Christian making fun of it.
It's probably like a Prague Christian meme.
Could be. Yeah. That makes sense. God, when he sacrifices himself to save mankind from himself. So yeah, it seems like, I mean, to me, the saving from himself is kind of the atheistic part, what I would say, like a fedora, an internet fedora wearer.
That's your line.
Yeah, it's like, the Reddit atheist guy, teleports behind you, nothing personal, kid. So yeah, I mean, at some level, it's funny because I love Gronk and I love Emperor's New Groove, but
I hear his voice when I read it.
It's all coming together.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's just, but I mean, it's a complete misinterpretation and misunderstanding of redemption and the Trinity. So, and what else? What else does it mess up? It's got like a very weird, skewed view of God as though he is the it's not hell.
You nailed it down with the misrepresentation of the Trinity. The complete and on top of that, not understanding the cross and the sacrifice.
Yeah.
Just not understanding the gospel at all.
Yeah. It's in the Athanasian Creed, I believe it says we're not like confusing the essence or whatever.
Yeah.
I really want to look it up now, but I don't want to spend like too much time. But The Athanasian Creed is very precise in its wording and its defense of the Trinity. Have you ever read through it?
No, I haven't, man.
It's really great. Like it's way more in depth than like the Apostles or the Nicene. But it's all about the defense of the Trinity. I'm trying to think. I can see if I can find the part I'm looking for. So let's see. The Holy Ghost. Okay, there are three gods. So we are forbidden by the Catholic religion to say there are three gods or three lords. The Father is made of none, neither created nor begotten. The Son is of the Father alone, not made nor created, but begotten. The Holy Ghost is of the Father and of the Son, neither made nor created nor begotten, but proceeding. So there is one Father, not three fathers, one Son, not three sons, one Holy Ghost, not three Holy Ghosts. And in this Trinity, none is before or after another, none is greater or less than another, but the whole three persons are co-eternal and co-equal.
Boom.
So, what's that?
I was agreeing with you.
Yeah, but the whole creed walks through things in that manner, just super, super precise. And it really is fascinating and I think phenomenal.
We can link that below, right?
Yeah, I can link it. This is just the Wikipedia. I'll look for like a more credible source. But cool. This is the part where I want to. And the Catholic faith is this, that we worship one God in Trinity and the Trinity in unity. And here it is, neither confounding the persons nor dividing the essence. For there is one person of the Father, another of the Son, and another of the Holy Ghost. And it goes on, the Godhead of the Father, of the Son, and of the Holy Ghost is all one, the glory equal, the majesty co-eternal. Like, it's beautiful. Beautiful, and like this is a great example when people talk about how, theology is boring or whatever. I'm like, read this. Read this and tell me it's not gorgeous language, at the same time being incredibly precise. But anyways, I digress. It's so good. So there's usually in the Lutheran tradition, as at least, maybe in others, there's one Sunday a year when we say the Athanasian Creed. It's Trinity Sunday. So versus, the Nicene or the Apostles. So
nice one.
Recommend.
All right, let's see.
It's good. That's actually kind of good. I like that a lot. I want those. Although I don't know, they don't look like salt and pepper shakers. It just looks like little figurines. But I guess we can leave
that. That's funny, man. That's funny.
That's good. For those of you who don't know, look up the story of Lot and his wife in Sodom and Gomorrah. If you're not familiar with the Old Testament, that's a story that should be fairly familiar to most people. But at the same time,
a lot of people, if you've never even read a Bible, you've probably know something about that story.
Yeah.
Probably don't know all the shit about it. But I feel like everybody's probably heard of it.
Yeah, that's pretty good though. I like that.
Like how she's looking back.
Yeah. Hashtag, that's the joke.
All right, man, let's see. Oh my gosh.
What? So, what?
I've got questions. Okay, how is a Unitarian Universalist a church?
Well, church in the loosest sense of the word.
So this, I'm not sure what our reaction is supposed to be to this, man.
I don't find it. I mean, yeah. This is not meme review. This isn't a meme. This isn't a meme. This is cringe.
It's a screenshot.
I don't know. Like if this is, there are some like pages that are parodies or spoofs. I don't know if this is the case. Yeah, I don't know. Like do we just explain what we're seeing and then note how confused we are?
Yeah, which I think we already started.
Yeah, so like little girl making a pentagram, allegedly being homeschooled, and the Unitarians are cool with invoking Satan. So odd and not funny, even though we laughed. I don't know.
Well, I'm laughing because like that's the mood I'm in.
It's true. I'm
also laughing because I'm like, I don't know how we're supposed to respond to it.
Yeah,
or like what was the expected response?
Be like, a lot of the streamers and reactors just explain what we're seeing.
Right. This is a good reminder that there are a lot of different people that actually do believe in homeschooling, not just angry conservatives.
But more popular on the right, though, I'd say.
It's probably more popular. It's more popular on the right, but clearly there's people doing it who are under different ideologies.
Yeah. Interesting.
Actually, dude, what is all that stuff, man?
Well, it's like stuffed animals and random household stuff. I don't know. I'm skeptical of any of these things that are staged like this. I mean, if the kid has actually made that on her own, it's pretty precise for doing that, honestly. So it's doubtful.
That's a good point, yeah.
And
I don't know a kid at that age that's that precise on anything.
No, that kid's 3.
Yeah, this is definitely stage, man. This is satire. Not really satire, but
yeah,
it exists for triggering.
Yep. Wants to get the rage bait.
All right, man. Let's go.
Yeah. Love it. Embrace it. It's true. It really is. I feel like this is based on a Chesterton quote. Democracy of the Dead.
Well, and then also, was it John Wesley that said what? I don't know if this is really based off that, but I think of it. Who said that what the generation today tolerates, the next generation will embrace?
That's familiar, but I don't know who said it.
Okay.
But yeah, I mean, Chesterton talks about the democracy of the dead, how we give the dead a vote. Yeah. And that's tradition. I mean, it really is. It's great. It's a great spin on it. We think of peer pressure as being a bad thing, but it's actually very positive peer pressure. Even some of that kind of social bullying, quote unquote, that kids go through, if it's not done in like a real mean spirit, it can actually help them. It can help them define the parameters of acceptable behavior, in a group, as long as it's not someone being just needlessly cruel. But if someone does something stupid and they get kind of shunned or, laughed at, they know not to do that again. It's like the free market at work.
Social free market.
the social free market of childhood, drama.
It's gonna be our next piece of merch.
We should do something like that. I mean, I would buy a shirt that said this.
All right, let's do it, man.
Yeah, it's great.
What's next?
Oh, darn! This happened to me a couple times.
It's happened to 2 or 3.
Okay, let's see now. And there's different
trust issues.
Well, there's different levels here. So your favorite preacher might be a heretic. I don't know if I have any that I liked at one point that are actually heretics now.
Yeah.
But several of them have gone astray varying ways.
Yeah, like I wouldn't say any of mine were kind of like you are flat out heretics, but like they probably should be. They probably don't qualify they probably should not be qualified to be a pastor anymore.
I'm thinking of 2 of them right now. I think you're probably thinking of the same ones.
2, yeah, probably, yeah.
Driscoll,
yeah,
and Tully and Javidian.
Yeah.
for those of you who don't know why you shouldn't platform either of those men, Driscoll was, well, he did a lot of things. Mainly, he was abusive and like, what's the word? It's been used there. Abusive can be kind of overused, but he legit was like abusive and
he was abusive, man.
controlling, like overly controlling, like kind
narcissistic.
Yeah. So there was like a lot of personnel problems and how he conducted himself. As far as I know, nothing other than like no adultery or anything like that.
Yeah.
But his elders basically said, let's resolve this, and he was like, "Oh no, you're just." I think there's been some stuff claimed after the fact that he received a word from the Lord that they were going to just like throw him under the bus. And so God told him that he was okay to just leave. So he just peaced out.
Yeah. He said that God told him that they were going to set a trap.
Yeah. So anyways,
how convenient.
He also did stuff like there was a plagiarism scandal. And then there was also the gaming the New York Times bestseller list, like using church money to buy bulk copies of the book, so he gets on the New York Times bestseller, which I guess is a common practice with a lot of people. But the fact that it's like a Christian church and pastor doing that is a no-no. So that was Driscoll.
Using church funds is probably not the best idea.
Well, it's unethical anyway to manipulate the lists like that. That's not just an advertising move. I think churches and pastors should hold themselves to a higher standard than that.
Yeah.
So, but then
Julian Chividian was removed from being a pastor in Florida because he got basically caught in basically being a serial adulterer.
He had multiple affairs, at least or at least multiple times. I'm not sure how many people were involved. It might have been just one, but
it was more than one.
Yeah. Well, and his wife also had an affair as well, which is when they finally divorced, I think.
Yeah.
So he was defrocked by I'm not sure if I think he was in the PCA.
Yeah, the PCA.
The PCA defrocked him and said, not qualified to be a pastor. And I think they wanted him to go through like a type of restoration. I don't think he would have been restored to being a pastor, but there was obviously when you're in kind of the unrepentant sin, then they want you under church discipline at the very least. You may or may not ever be restored to being a pastor, but being restored to church fellowship is obviously the goal. But he just said, no, thank you. I'm going to go start my own thing. And I think he married the last woman he was having an affair with. There's been several pastors that have done that. Those are the two that I was thinking of that I really enjoyed back in the day.
Yeah, man. They both had a pretty strong impact on me, which is kind of what made it so painful.
Yeah, Driscoll is one of the reasons why I left fundamentalism, to be honest.
Yeah.
And Tullian, I didn't spend as much time with his material. But I think a lot of people would say he's antinomian at the time. And
he wasn't, though.
What's that?
He wasn't antinomian at the time, though.
Yeah.
He wasn't, yeah. His teaching on grace was really big for me. All right, so moving on.
Fun stuff.
All right.
Yeah. I've seen other variations of this too that are good. I haven't seen this scene. Like, have you watched any of Brooklyn Nine? I think this is Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
Yeah, I believe it is. I haven't seen the scene, but it's.
This is true. Can anyone name all the 4 books?
Say what?
I wonder if our audience can name all the 4 books.
Comment below.
You could also do this with name, well, maybe that wouldn't work. Name 5 books by the same author or something like that, because John technically has 5. The Gospel of St. John the Divine, right?
There you go.
The Apocalypse of John, or the Revelation of John. And then
there you go.
John, 1 John, 2 John, 3 John.
Yeah. Boom.
Yeah, that's funny.
Did you finish Brooklyn Nine-Nine?
No, I think we only watched the first 2 or 3 seasons.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I forget. I don't know how many it ran for. 8, maybe something like that.
It had a good run, man. I thought
Yeah.
it went too long, honestly.
Yeah, but then it got weird because they didn't want to do the cop show anymore because the cops are the good guys, and they legit said,
okay.
"Oh yeah, we don't feel like we can continue the show in this current climate." Blah blah blah. But like it was full of like the flagellation. Like cops are bad. Okay. And they had to bring people in on the show, like in the show, to do like sensitivity training and police brutality training and stuff. It's just virtue signaling, and like I'd already stopped watching, so like they didn't lose me at that point. I had already kind of gotten tired of it, but
yeah, I think I made it through one season.
Yeah, like there's just
there was a lot of just doesn't do it.
There was a
What's
lot
his
of
name just doesn't do it for me.
What's that?
The main guy, Adam Samberg, like as
Andy,
a main
Samberg,
Andy Samberg as a main character, just I cannot handle that much of that dude.
You like The Office though, right?
Yeah.
See, to me, it's kind of the same awkward humor with the main, like the protagonist that's kind of an idiot, for varying reasons. Even though
I think it's
there's different levels of likability, right?
Yeah.
We're analyzing everything. Any tangent related to the meme, we're like, what about that? Sorry, guys.
All right, man. What do we got next?
I can't wait for Christianity to rise and fall of Tucker Carlson. So, spoofing the rise and fall of Mars Hill.
Yeah.
And I guess, okay, this is from back in April when Tucker was fired from Fox. Yeah. I don't know, man. I don't think this is funny. But this guy, I know this guy, Mason Menenga, he's like a progressive, like, I don't know why he's still LARPing as a Christian when he's like completely not. But anyways, so boo for heretics. What's that?
Will we call this one a fail?
Yeah, he thinks he's clever, and I've seen other tweets. He thinks he's real clever and real funny, and I don't know. I don't. Maybe if I shared his values, I would share his sense of humor.
All right, man.
Womp womp. Okay, I feel like the same person sent all these. Someone with an axe to grind. No, I'm kidding. Thank you for sending these. We love you and appreciate you. Please watch. Please also subscribe.
This is actually, honestly, dude, this argument, like, I'm done with this argument.
Which one? Matt's? Or
the whole modesty fight, dude. Yeah. It's just so boring.
Well, it's dumb.
People nobody wants to take responsibility for themselves,
right?
Not all women, but a certain section of women don't want to take responsibility for themselves, and then a certain group of men don't want to take responsibility for themselves. And I'm just kind of like, grow up and take some responsibility for yourself.
Yeah, one of my favorite living theologians.
Yeah.
The other day tweeted, he said, just be normal. Like, that's what I want people to be like, just be normal. Like, yeah, don't wear like what a lot of women are wearing to the gym, especially like the kind of influencer types, the ones who are documenting their gym. They want people to watch their videos and their pictures, and they're getting all sorts of attention from the males who are simping after them.
Yeah.
So it's like, yeah, they're literally wearing like barely their clothing.
Yeah.
And then they complain about men staring at them, and like half of the men staring is like the men kind of like looking around the gym and kind of like noticing them and like either moving on right away because they don't want to be called a creep, or because men are very visual, And like, we should be guarding our eyes and our hearts, not indulging in, oh yeah, there's a hot woman over there in whatever state of dress she's in, and just like fantasizing and staring and being creepy. Yeah, don't be creepy, but maybe women don't wear literal underwear. So it's both and. Like, yeah, you're not going to gouge your eyes out, but you also should take some responsibility for what you do with your eyes and what clothes you put on.
Yeah.
So it's good. Mary Catherine Backstrom.
Shout out to our producer for not blacking out the names.
Yeah, I mean, she's got. So this is a Facebook
I have
poll.
No idea who she is, man.
No, I mean, I don't know who this person is, but if it's Facebook or maybe Instagram, she's got a check mark, which means she's. It's
Facebook.
Yeah, so she's at least a public figure-ish who's opted into their verification, and you only do that if you want a platform. So
pretending like she wants men to gouge their eyes out.
Well, she doesn't want to take any responsibility. She's I think Matt Walsh, he's a very inflammatory guy some of the time. Like, he posts hot. That's one of the things that he does, is he posts, can be very blunt and posts hot takes. He's not always right. Like, he's not like this infallible guru or something like that. But I think he's pretty spot on with his take, at least in the substance of it. And she's being salty. So great meme. Not really a meme, but fun reaction.
Great screenshot. Here we go.
But that would involve me wanting to hear what they have to say. This is true. Okay. Now, I will say,
there's a lot of truth to this one.
Yeah, I will. I think the cage stage was made famous kind of by Calvinists, right?
Yeah.
Even though I would say there are people in the cage in every denomination.
Yeah.
To be fair. But
to be fair,
I will say Calvinists have definitely, I think, made an art out of the cage stage.
Oh yeah, man. There's no doubt about that, dude. I think a lot of that has to do with, conversations you and I had a couple years ago. Especially like evangelical reform people understand culture really well. And so like they wrote books, did the conferences, got on the internet first, and before a lot of other Christian subcultures did. And that is a good thing and an awful thing. And so like I think that's why like a lot of reformed got the whole claim to fame for being cage stage, because they were on the internet trolling and just being kind of jerks at times. Not all. Yeah. But a lot.
I forget who was saying this. It was somebody reformed on Twitter, and they were kind of talking about the demographics, I think, of the PCA and stuff. It might have been in the context of Tim Keller as well, because like he had kind of an outsized influence.
Oh yeah, man.
Because the PCA is actually a very small denomination.
Yeah, with as famous as Tim Keller's, you would think it was about the size of the SBC.
Yeah, but no, I mean, SBC, I think, is the largest in the States.
Yeah.
Even though they would say they're not a denomination, but they're a denomination.
Not a denomination, but a convention of churches.
Yeah, it's like, okay, you want to have your cake and eat it too. LCMS is, I think, other than like the non-mainline, there are some mainline, like liberal ones that are still pretty big.
You're forgetting what the Assemblies of God, man.
Yeah, I think they would fall kind of in the same thing as the SBC, though. They're not really like a formal denomination.
Okay.
But yeah, there's a ton of Assemblies of God for sure. LCMS has a few million, but even ones like the PCA or the ACNA, they are not that big, and sometimes depending on the denomination, sometimes the influence they have online and the presence they have online can actually outweigh how many are in their pews,
Yeah.
And it can kind of give not like a false impression, like they're trying to do that intentionally, but just like it's an impression of, something being bigger than it actually is. So anyways, it's just interesting. But yeah, I like the meme. It's a good vibe.
Debate a Calvinist for free seminary.
Yeah. When you tell a group of believers they should go to church on Sundays and they say that's legalistic, aren't you a Christian? Why wouldn't you go to church on Sunday?
That's from The Office.
I feel like I want this to be funnier than it is.
Yeah, I think so.
It's a good message. Yes, you should go to church on Sunday.
It's funny because I remember whenever I was a new believer in college, the same people that would tell me, "Oh, you don't have to go to church on Sunday to be a Christian. You don't have to go to it's not about going to church. It's not about your attendance," were the same ones that would call me up on Sunday morning to invite me to church. And then if I couldn't go or didn't want to, it would always get really awkward.
Were they like trying to like trick you into going or something, or like trying to be super nice to take the pressure off?
I don't think they knew what they were doing. Like, I honestly just don't think they had a clue. I think ultimately they were trying to be nice, like across the board. I think they're just trying to be nice across the board. And I think like you just said, they didn't want me to feel like a whole lot of pressure and like all that kind of stuff. But ultimately, I just think they didn't know what they were doing. But it was confusing as all get out.
Yeah. We went to a church that had a Saturday evening service because they had multiple services. I loved sleeping in on Sunday. That is something I never, ever, ever did in my life. Because I grew up in a pastor's home, and then I went to Bible college, and everywhere we went, it was just church on Sunday morning, blah blah blah. Sleeping in on Sunday and like not doing anything the entire day when you're young and newly married. You went to church Saturday night. It's just the best. So good. So I drive by a Catholic church on my way to drop my daughter off at school, and they've got their big sign out front with their new mass times, and one of them is like 4 p.m. on a Saturday, and I'm like, oh man, like I don't want to be Catholic, but I want that service time. He's so good. It'd be perfect. It's perfect. So yes, go to church, man. That is where God meets you and gives you His good gifts of word and sacrament. You can get the word elsewhere, but
it is a fair question though. Like, why wouldn't you want to go to church?
No.
I mean, everybody's got their reasons, man. None of them are ultimately good enough, but everybody's got their reasons. Some of them I think we could probably maybe sympathize with for various different reasons, but ultimately they're not good enough, and you got to move past that.
Yeah, I do sympathize with, because I have run across people who have legitimately been abused by people in the church, and like multiple times in like different churches. Like, it's tragic.
Yeah.
So I definitely feel for them. It can be hard to trust and put yourself out there again, especially if you've done that a few times and got burned.
I know a lot of those people too.
Yeah, it's too bad. It really is. But I don't have a solution. I'm not, I'm not a pastor, not a official counselor or anything like that. But God told us to go, and it's not that I do like the LCMS. The focus is on God serving us and giving us His gifts. And that wasn't necessarily the focus. I don't think anyone in the churches I grew up in would deny that. Like they would, but they wouldn't lead with that, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So that's really cool. It's like less of a thing that I have to do and more of I get to go because God is there and He is serving me, Not saying he's not other places as well.
Well, I mean, there's like something special, man, about gathering with other believers with this unique thing in common, which is where y'all unify to God together, and we're going to focus on that for this time together, and we're all going to benefit off of each other's gifts together, and we're all going to serve each other together. We're going to worship together. Like we're going to do like all that's awesome, man.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And then God, gives us his word through the preacher.
Oh.
We are in the sacraments. He gives us his body and blood. And, it's all about him giving to us. And I love that. I love that focus. So yeah, it's a go to church. It's good for your soul. I mean, it's like, there's all sorts of like secular studies about the benefits of that type of community as well. That's just a secular psychological thing. Those are just extra, so yeah, not a funny name, but a great message. Thank you for whoever submitted this. I really am the multi-purpose friend. I'm down for brunch, church, aggravated assault, working out, whatever. Just let me know. That's the right guy, Yeah.
These are the friends we need, man.
Yeah, it's true. I'd say you're a friend like that. It's like, all right, hey John, I need to hide a body. You down?
Dude, I'm good, man. Let's do this. Talk about it afterwards.
Just depends on whose body. I think there's got to be a caveat there. It's like an
That's
IRS.
why we have Signal.
What's that?
So we got Signal.
Yeah. For now, we still have Signal.
So we got Signal. I know there's a lot of vacant land. Let's do this, dude.
In Minecraft, right?
Oh yeah, of course, yeah.
On the Corinthian church.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, that's good. Have you watched any Breaking Bad or anything like that?
So I actually like I haven't finished Breaking Bad or Better Call Saul. I enjoyed Better Call Saul better though.
Really?
It wasn't as painful for me to watch, dude. Like Breaking Bad was such a great show that I could not finish it because it was so freaking painful.
Yeah.
Better Call Saul, it's like he's just an idiot. And it's kind of fun to watch him be an idiot.
Is it like a dramedy, like a dramatic comedy or something?
It's not a comedy. It's just like when Saul screws up, he's single. He's not ruining his wife and his family.
Oh yeah. Yeah, like they say, like it's such a great, like Breaking Bad is such a great show, and I'm like, I have never watched
it, but it's hard to watch.
Yeah, it's a thing. Like there's it's like a guy is destroying his life and the lives of the people around him, and becoming a terrible person, even though he started out with like noble intentions, or at least not evil intentions.
Like it's rough to watch, man. I need to go finish it just because. Yeah. I just need to go finish it because everybody has watched it and everybody's finished it, and I'm just kind of tired of saying I haven't finished it. But like watching like him pull away from his wife because he's got this second life going, and watching his wife be neglected by him and start to like drift to enjoy getting attention from like other guys in the show. That was just brutal, man. Yeah. Like, that was just brutal.
It'd be kind of rough to watch. I've never had a real desire to watch it, but then again, I don't watch a lot of TV.
It's only 4 seasons. I think I can get through like the last 3 and 4.
Oh yeah. But there's a lot of stuff I never saw though, because I just, we didn't have a TV, and this is before the streaming services had everything. So, like 24, I never watched all of 24. These are these iconic shows, right?
Yeah, dude. I guess Breaking Bad is. Jeez, dude, is that old?
I mean, it might.
You watched Lost. You watched Lost, though, right?
No, I didn't never watch Lost.
Seriously?
Seriously.
Dude, hold on, dude. Lost.
No.
Lost is a show.
No, never will. Never will. I've seen it. I've seen plenty of others that were kind of around in the early 2000s or the early.
None of them compare to Lost.
Well, the ending I hear is terrible, so I refuse to do that to myself.
Yeah, the ending's awful. The show is phenomenal, though, man. Even with that awful ending, and it is just terrible. That show is incredible.
Isn't spoiler alert? It's been out for like 20 years at this point. Isn't it like that they were all dreaming essentially, or they're all dead, or something like that?
I'm not going to answer that. You got to watch it.
They were like in purgatory. I'm never going to watch it. So.
You will someday.
Screw you and you're lost. Anyways, so the Corinthian church, they're dumb, and then Paul's like, Oh, there's other ones that are related to this that are awesome. Paul's like, I'm once again asking you to be normal, like to not be
Oh
these
yeah, this goes back to earlier. He's like, can't y'all just be normal?
Yeah.
It's like, I feel like he should have said, I shouldn't have to say this to you, but children, do not sleep with your father's wives.
Yeah, when you think about it, like I was listening to a couple podcasts and they were diving into kind of the culture, like the pagan worship that went on in a lot of those cities. Yeah. Like temple prostitute was like a common occurrence. Like there were literal temples filled with prostitutes that you went to as part of your worship to this particular god, like Artemis or something like that, yeah,
that's something.
So that was just their culture. Like that was like, you think about how foreign that seems to us as kind of like modern American Christians, but like that was the water they were swimming in, whereas now like the LGBT kind of is just saturating everything, and kind of the progressive sort of woke stuff is just kind of the water we breathe when it comes to entertainment and stuff like that. It's just different cultures, right? So
it is, man. It really is. It's still weird.
For sure.
But it is different cultures.
It's like you transplanted someone from like, the 1800s to now.
Man, it's like you got missionaries in different countries that are rapidly different from our Western culture. They're planting churches where it's just night and day. And there are things that they're going to have to tell new believers to repent of and stop doing and stop thinking in a certain way that we would not be able to wrap our head around.
Like there's legit cultures where I don't remember all the details, but basically what happens when a man with like 2 or 3 wives gets saved and, his household follows him in becoming Christians. How do you walk through that pastorally? Do you tell him, keep your first one, divorce the other 2, and you know what I mean? There's been missionaries that have had to wrestle with that sort of thing from all sorts of cultures in these, what we would call more primitive cultures or whatever, maybe more pagan or backward or whatever. So
I wouldn't mind hearing a podcast from a missionary speaking on that. That'd be fascinating.
Do you have anybody in mind?
I have nobody in mind at all, man.
Yeah.
But that'd be cool.
Yeah, I'm trying to think where I've seen a few people discussing that. I just can't remember off the top of my head, so I'll have to do a little research. But I think a lot of what I've seen, if I remember correctly, was they basically tell him like just you just steady state, you live with your wives, but they don't perpetuate that in the future generations. They just kind of phase it out. So,
man, I don't know. I honestly cannot wrap my head around that.
Yeah, but that's like a legit concern in some cultures,
Yeah.
So,
all right.
Anyways, that was a big rabbit trail. Okay. Is this supposed to be in a rhyme?
I think so, man. Can God fail at saving man? Can Paul reject God's plan? Did Nebuchadnezzar enjoy his grass salad on his own free will? Well, yes, but actually no.
So I appreciate the yes, but actually no meme. It's funny. I think this is like I don't know if I would call it a straw man. I don't know if it actually is. But I think it does conflate God's foreknowledge with his predestination, which happens a lot with those cage stagers. Yeah. What do you think?
I don't know, man. I'm still reformed. I haven't left the gospel like you have, man.
Yes, I hate the gospel. As a Lutheran, I just despise the gospel.
Can God fail at saving man? No. Can Paul reject God's plan? No. I don't really believe in free will either. And so,
I believe in the bound will.
Yeah.
So, meaning we don't have the freedom to choose the good in the spiritual sense.
Yeah.
So yeah, like Lutherans would be monergistic in that sense as well. I've heard some people call us synergistic because we believe God's grace can be resisted. Like his grace can be resisted, his Holy Spirit can be resisted. But we would put that up to kind of the it can be unhelpful, but the paradox essentially of how can God, how does God save some and not others? Well, we would say the Bible doesn't tell us, so we don't really speak on it. We don't want to make a law where God has not, or be dogmatic where we feel God has not been dogmatic. So
I can appreciate the whole, I can actually appreciate a lot the efforts to choose to not be clear on things that we don't see clarity on from Scripture. I think there's a lot of people who feel the pressure to provide answers where they shouldn't.
I mean, we like having answers, though, as
part of our culture.
Yeah. I will say this: the Arminian. So I know this is a person who doesn't actually know Arminianism, because Arminianism is just a subset of Reformed theology. Like Jacob Arminius was a student of Beza, who is like a student of Calvin. So he considered himself Reformed. Classically Reformed Arminians, actual Arminians, which there are probably not a whole lot of, those are radically different from like the provisionist, semi-Pelagian kind of Charles Finney. Like those are different streams, but most people just think of people in the States, especially. They have like these blinders on, and they're like, it's Calvinism or Arminianism. There is no other soteriological system. When it's like, okay, there's like Catholicism, and the varying streams in there. There's Anglicanism, which has Reformed streams as well as, non-Reformed. Lutheranism, which is monergistic, yet there's apostasy. So it's not the full tulip, And then you got Reformed. Arminianism is an actual subset of Reformed theology. It's not that far off. And then you've got the kind of mega church, big Eva, free will Baptist, Charles Finney stuff.
Yeah.
So,
all right, man. Let's see what we got next.
Let's continue. Someone loves Mimetic. Christ the mediator with all his righteous judgment, the Pope's pontificate. Yeah, I mean, Pope can go, take a long walk off a short pier in Minecraft. Seat of the Antichrist.
Are you not unified with Martin Luther and the Pope?
Oh no, I am.
Okay. Good.
There's a couple different lines of thought. There is in Lutheran thought, at least, and I think other confessions share similar thoughts. Number one for Luther and really the Lutheran confessions say that the Pope, the papacy, not a singular Pope necessarily, but the papacy is a seat of the Antichrist. Yeah. And there's an interesting twist on that, because the Antichrist is one who sets himself up in the temple of God. So like Lutherans would not say that Catholics are not saved or cannot be saved, because we believe they have the sacraments and they do hear the gospel. They have his word, present, in spite of how twisted it's become in some ways. But the point there being...
That's a very strange way to put that.
What do you mean?
Just ending that with, despite how twisted it's become.
Yeah, but does God save by perfect knowledge, or does he save by his word?
No, but it's just kind of like, how far can you twist it before it becomes something different?
Yeah.
Because, for example, the JWs and the LDS, the Jehovah's Witnesses and the Latter-day Saints have done some, they've turned they're straight up heretics, right?
Yeah.
So that's kind of the question, is how far can you twist that until it becomes something completely different?
Well, I was talking to, I think it was on the podcast, actually. I was talking with Zach Lee.
Yeah.
And he said...
Great episode, by the way.
It was a great episode, man. That guy's a very interesting dude, super nice. Way more unfiltered.
I'd like to do an episode with him, but I don't dress good enough.
Yeah, he's fancy. But he said something to the effect of, and I think we made a short out of this: Protestants are at their worst when they're trying to be anti-Catholic. Like we're 90% Catholic. Like the Trinity, like stuff that has been hashed out and handed down. Like most of what Protestants are is Catholic. So it's like we shouldn't try to be anti-Catholic necessarily or as un-Catholic as possible. But, and obviously we all land on different spots there. But the point with the Lutheran confessions is, yes, we believe the Pope or the papacy is the seat of the Antichrist. Because it's someone who sets himself up in the temple of God in opposition to God, essentially. And there have been good popes, and there have been actually some really good popes in spite of being the Pope. And there have been some absolutely terrible ones. Like for a while there, like there was the Pope. They moved the seat of the papacy to France, and there was like 3 competing popes at one time. And then anyways, brothels and stuff all over Rome and the Vatican. So anyways.
So with this, the papacy is the seat of an Antichrist.
Yeah.
But there have been good popes throughout history.
Yeah. There's another part. I don't know if it's in the Confessions. I can't remember exactly where it's from. But basically the Lutherans, one of the concessions they were willing to make is they said, we are willing to say that you can be the head of the church. But the Catholics would have had to recognize that was by human right and not by divine right. So that's another major break. This was back when, the schism wasn't complete. And they were basically saying, like, we would even accept the Bishop of Rome as the head of the church just for the sake of human organization. But you can't claim that God put him there, when it's humans put him there. So anyways, fun topic. Oh, okay. This is good. It's self-aware. How to straw man someone who takes the early church seriously. I'll start reading some early church quotes. I'll start reading their whole works in context. I'll start considering some of their viewpoints. The early church is infallible. Obviously, man, is it sola tradition? I think that some like kind of the online, the cage stage ortho bros, the orthodox, the convertidox, the forest hobos, they kind of they fall into the last panel there a little bit. They wouldn't even say that necessarily, but they kind of do. They're the ones who say, well, who gave you the Bible? Like, oh, I believe in the Bible. Well, who gave you the Bible? The church. Oh, so the church is your actual authority, or it should be. Convert to I don't know, Constantinople. Catholics
dude,
can say
I don't have
convert to
time
Rome.
for that stuff, man.
Yeah. We're also getting tired, so these are getting less funny as we go.
Oh, dude, I'm drinking this coffee, man.
Why?
Why?
Okay, for everyone watching,
caffeine has no power over me.
We are recording. It's almost 11 o'clock at night.
Yeah, dude. The party's just getting going, man. No, when I say I don't have time for this, I'm not talking about the memes, dude. I'm just talking about the example of the online debate that you were talking about.
Oh, yeah.
I was like, I don't got time to deal with trad boys, Theo bros,
or
like ortho boys, and like all that kind of stuff, dude. Like, I don't think those people have real lives, dude. Otherwise, like, they would be doing anything else than just trolling people online all day, every day. Like, I don't think a lot of those people have families or are part of churches or have jobs or anything. Next. Your visit. Oh my gosh. Arsenio, this is funny.
Yeah, this is good. Yeah, this is great. I actually one of the first times I went to like a charismatic church was in
You didn't fall
college.
asleep.
I visited with some friends.
Whoa, hold on. You were in college and you went to a charismatic church?
Yeah, as like a joke, basically. We were
Did
just
your
kind of
dean or headmaster or whatever know about that?
no, I would have gotten in trouble if you did.
Dude, when they hear this episode, man, they're gonna revoke your degree.
I mean, sure, they can have it. Thanks, but no thanks.
All right, so
yeah. Well, so we went to this charismatic church, and it was just like generic Pentecostal, whatever. We went there. Then one of my friends went up for prayer. He was just kind of trolling.
Oh, this is awesome.
And some lady like came behind, like put her hands on his back and started praying in tongues as he was being prayed over by other people. And he was just like, all right, dude, he's like the hair on my neck like stood up, and like it was just bizarre. Like, but yeah, just this random chick comes up behind him and like,
So he felt the Holy Spirit then?
I guess so. That's what you're calling it. Some sort of spirit.
Dude, okay, so the first like Assemblies of God church I ever went to wasn't very charismatic, which is a really weird thing to say. They just weren't like hardcore. It was probably like culturally they're probably more like an excited Southern Baptist church. But like when I went to college, there was a very like one of the more dominant churches in this town was a Word of Faith Prosperity Gospel Church, and the first time I went there, it was actually they were so nice. But with the most memorable service that I went to, I remember when they handed out communion, they basically told everybody, if you are not absolutely sure about your salvation, don't take the bread or the juice, because it was juice, because God will strike you down with lightning. And I'm just like, that was the first time I think I'd questioned my salvation like in 2 years.
It's like that is a misapplication of God's law. Like that's a confusion of law and gospel there. The sacraments are literally the gospel in physical form. Yeah. There's been some interesting takes on, I haven't dug in deep, but I've seen some interesting takes from like charismatic people on like the power of communion. And I'm like, you're getting there. Like it's like they're not a sacramental church, but they're like kind of grasping after something there. It's interesting.
Dude, there's a meme. I hope it's here. We just haven't got to it yet. With Bill Johnson preaching, and not only is he wearing glasses because he hasn't healed himself of his broken eyesight, but he's also has like a splint or whatever on his broken finger.
Yeah.
And he's preaching.
Yeah.
I hope it's here somewhere, man. I hope it's here.
It's so like the whole faith healing movement in all of its forms is so silly. Like, do I believe God can heal miraculously? Yes. Do I believe he does? All the time. And yet most of that movement is complete BS. So
I was somewhere the other day, man. Might have been with you. I don't know where I was. I never know where I'm at. But like somebody was saying, it's like one of the worst things that the charismatic movement has done was basically just destroyed like the treasures of ordinary life.
And that sounds real familiar.
Yeah, you sure you didn't say it?
I don't think so, but it sounds so familiar. I just can't remember where I heard that.
Maybe it's me.
Maybe. You might be a genius at then. Oh, man, yeah, because like I know I've just heard somebody say that, and I can't remember for the life of me who. But the thrust of it is exactly that. It's like just everyday sanctification, God's gifts, living a normal life. Oh, man, I'll have to. Who said that? Dang it. Was it on our podcast or something else?
Maybe, man, because it was a conversation, dude. It wasn't like a podcast or anything like that. It was just a conversation. He was either with you or with me with somebody else. I don't know, man. All right.
Interesting.
Next meme.
Oh, yes. They are a person.
I think this is the meme of why Emily asked me about what she was allowed to put on here.
Man, the faith of a child here. Just common sense. Oh, that's great.
Oh, dude.
Yep. There you go. That's the question. Maybe the question is not does it have, but is more does it still have? Might be the
do it.
Do it. Got ball. You got ball. Excellent. Well done.
Oh, dude, I'm glad memes exist, man, because they allow me to laugh at things that actually genuinely piss me off.
Yeah. Oh, excellent. Top tier.
Oh, dude, that's a quality meme. It's a quality harvest. Oh gosh.
Excellent. I love it. Anything?
This is a Harry Potter meme, right?
Sir, I make you watch all the Harry Potters when you're up here visiting. No, man, this is great. I haven't really dug a lot into Muslim apologetics, but it's remarkable how the parallels of how Mormons kind of parallel Muslims.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also,
so both the founders got visited by an angel and told that the Christians didn't have it right. And here's some new scripture that conveniently allows you to marry as many people as you want. So Muslims are basically, or not Muslims, Mormons are otherwise known as American Muslims. As Joseph Smith is like, it's the same thing. It's exactly the same religion.
There's a
more.
Oh, that's wow. What are the chances?
Okay. Modern leadership, modern relations, standard works, journal. I don't know what the Journal of Discourses is, unless it's, I'm guessing, like some. It might be like as their doctrine has evolved, because one of the things, there's a couple things. Polygamy, of course, was a big part of the early church, or the early LDS church.
Yeah, dude. And black people weren't allowed to be a Mormon.
Well, black people, their skin color was a sign of their being cursed by God. That was the churches. That was Mormons' early stance. So I'm not sure if this is about that or not, but yeah. If I knew what was going on, I'm sure this would be top tier.
I thought it was funny that Mormon came right after we were just talking about Mormons.
It must have been submitted by the same person. I'm guessing they had something on their mind. That's good, actually. That's awesome. I'm gonna need to save this one. I was just listening to a program on Servetus or whatever his name is. Forget how the presenter pronounced it. But yeah, he was a literal heretic, and I think Calvin actually told him, "Don't come back to Geneva," because people act like Calvin burned him at the stake personally.
Calvin worked really hard to spare his life.
Yeah,
and he gets over time has gotten to irritate me a lot. That people are like, "Oh, Calvin's a murderer." Like, that's not what happened. either one, you're an uneducated buffoon, or you're just trying to slander him because you're mad about predestination.
Yeah,
because Calvin worked really hard to get that dude's life saved.
I think a lot of people think that the Anabaptist, because there was two. For most historians, there was two reformations that happened. There's the magisterial reformation, which would be Lutherans, Anglicans, and some would include the Reformed, like Calvin. Most would, I think. Even though those were sort of three separate but related streams. And then you had the Radical Reformation, which is the Anabaptists. And most people conflate modern-day Baptists with Anabaptists when they're really not related at all. Most of the Anabaptists are literal heretics. It's just because people don't know history at all. And I'm not a history scholar or anything like that. I know enough to kind of keep things in line, essentially. Generalities, But yeah, I was just listening to something on him today, actually, walking through, like, he had a bunch of like Trinitarian heresies that he just, kind of subscribed to at different times. It was weird. Like some version of modalism, a version of subordinationism, where Christ being subordinate to the Father, a version of adoptionism where Christ becomes divine, either at his baptism or at some point in his earthly ministry.
I know people that believe that.
Yeah. Yeah, like,
some of that's pretty common in a lot of in some charismatic circles.
Yeah, like modalism pops up a lot.
Yeah.
So it's like there's elements of these guys, like there's elements of these Trinitarian heresies that come back up time and time again. They've all been addressed, though, in the early church, or even in early to medieval church. So, but yeah, this is great.
This is fun. This is good. Oh, gosh.
It's true. No creed but Christ. That's a creed, bro. That's a statement of your beliefs. That's all that creed is. It's good. I'm not really familiar with the later. I've seen some of The Office. Michael Scott's just super awkward to me, so I can't really get past a lot of his stuff. So I've seen several episodes from like multiple different seasons and some of the early stuff, but I didn't really get into it. I didn't really watch it.
Dude, you gotta watch it, man. It's like, dude, like it's such a deep part of our culture, man.
I cannot take Michael Scott.
Well, y'all have a lot in common.
Shut your mouth.
Next meme.
Try that in a small town, John.
More of The Office. See, you got to watch The Office, man. Jesus.
Did you sent these in, didn't you? The Office.
I did.
Conspiracies, whitewashed teens, Jews from the night. The victim was released from the hospital secretary burns. It's funny, I guess. If I liked The Office more, then I'm sure I would appreciate it more. But I mean, that is quite a. You think about it in context, that's quite a burn. Jesus was not holding back. You look pretty on the outside, but you're full of dead man's bones. That's
a epic burn.
Emotional damage.
All right, man. I think we got one more left. You ready?
Okay.
So better be
better be a banger.
All right. Nice.
I mean, in essence, it is. Yes. It's so great.
There's replacement theologians. I hate that terminology so much, dude.
And I was just talking to somebody today who is a dispensationalist, and they don't know that
was fun.
They don't know that I'm not. So, because we just hasn't been something we've discussed. So they were talking about replacement theology. It was just like it was a 2-minute detour in a conversation about something else. And I was just like, you know what? I don't feel like the need to litigate this right now. Like the fact that I grew up as a dispensationalist, and they make such a big deal about Israel being separate from the church, and they literally call the church a parenthesis. They say we are in the church age, this church dispensation. God's not done with Israel yet. He's gonna rapture the church, and then we become then he's back with ethnic Israel. When God has made the covenant so much bigger than the church by itself, and so much bigger than the just ethnic Israel.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
That was good stuff, man. That was good stuff. We should do that again.
Those were fun. We should do that again.
Who doesn't love a good meme harvest?
I mean, I've got a few different like group chats and stuff with different groups of friends. There are certain memes that I share in some of those that I couldn't, that I share or that are shared by others that are not for the general population's consumption. But then there's the others for like normies or edgy normies, you know?
Yeah.
So, yeah, that was awesome. A lot of fun.
We have to spread those out on our social media pages over the next couple of weeks.
Oh,
see
like
what happens.
Posting them? Yeah.
Yeah.
For sure. Thank you for your memes, citizens. We shall seize them and redistribute them. Because we're meme commies, apparently.
Before you do the outro, man, I want to remind everybody about our new Subscribe Star. We'll have the link below where y'all can go and subscribe to one of the tiers, help support the podcast as we grow. Each tier has a lot of different perks and benefits. But one of the things that all the tiers have in common is it's access to the new Discord that we're starting up. And if you can hop in there, we can interact personally, share a lot of memes, a lot of other fun stuff. But you can subscribe for as low as $5 a month. You get access to the Discord, and it'll be a blast.
Yeah. And we have a few subscribers already, and we are very thankful. So thank you for those of you who have subscribed already. It just, it helps. This is a side project. It's something we're doing in our free time, and there is a small amount of cost.
Right.
So for those of you who want to contribute, that's great. We thank you. If you don't want to, we're still going to keep doing it. So
yeah, it's all good.
No obligation. But yeah. Thanks everybody for watching. This was a lot of fun. Hope that you guys enjoyed. Until next time, the Lord bless you and keep you. The Lord make his face shine upon you and be gracious to you. The Lord lift up his countenance upon you and give you peace. We'll see you on the flip side.
Amen.